Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Don't you get the impression sometimes that the US government cares more about other nations and other countries, other people, than it cares for you as a US citizen? I think for me, it's not just I think. I'm 99% certain that that's the case at times. And it is like a parent who, I don't know, goes and buys toys to the neighbor's kids or takes your toys and gives them to the neighbor kids and you don't have any. Or at least invests in the neighbor's kids instead of investing in his kids. Obviously, the government is not our parent or father or mother. They are over there just to, make sure that what we say is going to happen and make sure that they follow the Constitution and protect our rights, basically. But obviously, they do more than that nowadays. What happened? The White House would like to ask the U.S. Congress for $10 billion for Ukraine for domestic disaster relief. Why? That's coming from our taxes, supposedly, or from the loans the government takes on our names that we will pay with higher taxes and our children will pay, and their children having a lower standard of living. Or by just printing more money, and by printing more money causing more inflation, or simply putting some numbers in the computer. And everybody else says, yes, sir, we accept your numbers. So, do you remember, I think, how long ago was that? In Ohio, was it? In Ohio? Or in Pennsylvania? I think it was Ohio, where that train derailed with that toxic chemicals. Remember that one? Do you remember of about 10 billion with billion dollars being, asked by White House and provided to that disaster relief? I haven't heard of that. So what do you think? This is just one example. Why do you have the obligation? Why do I have the obligation? Because those guys dictate that they should do that. Give them $10 billion. This is something that is wrong with democracy again. You vote one time, and then 5 years, 4 years, 6 years, it depends how long the term of that weasel is. She can do everything they want legally, including this. Give your money to someone else. The reason doesn't matter. They can give you the reason tomorrow is Wednesday. And that would be fine. Well, it's not fine. It's not fine. And then they say work within the system. That is, vote that weasel out. Did you think it was a weasel when you voted for him? No. So how did he treat you? That's how they always do. Why? Because you campaign for them, you support them, you donate. But there are some other ones that do that 50,000 times more than you do. So who do you think that guy is going to pick up the phone for? You? Or let's look at this article, obviously coming from the adversaries or enemies, which is Sputnik. It's from today, August 8, 2023. White House wants over $10 billion in extra funding for Ukraine. Domestic disaster relief. I mean, who can be against this? I mean, you're a bad person if you say, I don't want that domestic disaster relief to be sent to them. That's why they give this kind of names, so you can have, certain kind of people telling you that you're a bad person if you don't, and you don't have any empathy, and blah, 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 and you say, well, I have brains, and I'm not going to be allowing myself to be buffaloed by this infantile guys working for the White House and the guys in the Congress. The Biden administration may ask Congress for more than $10 billion in additional supplemental funding for Ukraine and domestic disaster relief as early as this week. These guys are moving fucking fast. A Beltway media outlet reported Tuesday citing five unnamed sources. I don't like this unnamed, but hey, the exact amount, funding breakdown, and the date when the request will be submitted to Congress are still under debate, the report said. The request is expected to be a litmus test for U.S. support for Ukraine as a group of anti-war Republicans increasingly expresses hostility towards additional funding for the proxy war against Russia. Some of them express hostility because they know they can't win. So then they say, well, see, we are on your side, dear voters. So let's say it's good that they are over there, but it's like you have 100 senators and from 100 senators you have 3. And they can be against the war as much as they want. They just play. It's a game. It's staged. I'm not saying this is, but most likely that's what they do. They say, well, I can afford doing this. My constituency, whatever, third time is a charm, not even, will vote for me. I would say the voters. Okay, let's be weasels here. So the voters will vote. Oh, look, he upholds our blah, 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 blah. Why? Because he knew that he would not win. And besides, he's not going to expose himself too much. It would be, let's say, 40 senators and 60 on the other side. Yeah, that will really be a fight. And you will hear the military-industrial complex coming over and smacking these guys in their offices. And from 40, they're going to drop to 3. Okay? Just pay attention to that little thing. They are loud and clear. Nothing will happen. They will not face the military-industrial complex, the intelligence, they call it the community, which is FBI, NSA, CIA, and many others. I think it's like 13 supposedly. That's the community, okay? They will not dare to do that. And the donors, the ones with the money, which is the big corporations, and some interests, and some personal individuals over there. Once they say, hey, get out, the adults are talking here, they will just get out. I'm talking about the politicians. So, let's see here. Express hostility towards additional funding for the proxy war against Russia, blah, blah, blah. Overall, Congress, those guys that we voted for supposedly, already authorized more than $110 billion so far. That's what, in 2 years, let's put it this way, in spending for Ukraine, including direct military aid, economic and humanitarian support, and support for NATO allies. Washington allies have contributed tens of billions of dollars in additional dollars. I don't care what they do. I care only what these guys are taking my money and give it to the neighbor's kid. The funding has not provided Kiev with the expected resources to punch through Russian defensive lines in Donetsk, Kherson, and Zaporozhye, with many U.S. officials privately recognizing that the Ukrainian military's summer counteroffensive has bogged down, while others blame Kiev's tactics. Whatever it is, I made a video today where I said, clear, nice and clear, the Ukrainians' counteroffensive is over, unsuccessful. 2 months of jerking off over there in the front lines and not being able to break through. What do you expect? For Jesus Christ to come and say, or Moses, then separates the Red Sea, and everybody's like, ooh. Okay, anyway, that's why they wait. And Moses might come for Zelensky, probably, or Shmihal, not even, but I think Moses knows. But hey, Moses has his many sins that he has. Look in the Old Testament and see how many things he did over there. Okay, besides the fact that he an Egyptian and then he ran away from Egypt, and then when he came back, okay, it's black on white on the good book, and the good book don't lie. I've been told. Okay, all right. Sorry. So here it is, my friends, from me to them with love, from Russia with love, right? From US to Ukraine with love. Why? Because they say so. If that would be their money, I understand, but it's my money, my future generations' lives, and I disagree with that. Well, this is democracy. I mean, what can you do? Well, we can tweak it here and there, this democracy, okay? Because I don't think those guys who invented it like this. Here, it's campaign donation. That's called differently in other countries. It starts with B and it ends with Y. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.